Hi everyone! I hope you're all doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my channel. I'm Holly and welcome to an art adventure with Holly. So today I thought I would go through my colouring book collection, and we're going to go through a lot of colouring books in my collection. And I didn't realise how many colouring books I've got. And a lot of them are uncoloured, so the goal this year is to colour in as many as I can, whether that be 1 page a week or something, which is probably the most I could probably do at this moment. So that's going to be like, but maybe we could do like 1 page a week, so 4 books a month maybe, something like that. I do work, as I mentioned in my last video, I do work full-time, so gotta incorporate that into my day. So yeah, so we're gonna go through my colouring book collection. I'm also going to show you some of the pages that I've coloured in so far. So we're gonna look at some of the stuff that I got when like 10 years ago and how I used to colour 10 years ago to what I do now. So sort of like showing you my journey from beginning to now. And I think I mentioned it in my last video that I sort of stopped for a couple of years and then started up again about 2 or 3 years ago. I like really started investing in the colouring in, so you'll see a big jump from when I first started to what I do now. So we're going to go through that. And also, yeah, just taking you through the different colouring in groups. So colouring books that I have. I think the rest of my colouring books, I'm going to do some YouTube shorts for you all and maybe do 10 books at a time. Like, you know, here's, you know, so this is part 1 essentially of my colouring books. And then we're going to have probably a part 10, or, you know, like a part, you know, 4 or 5 on the shorts, so that you can see the rest, because the rest are only like, I don't believe that there are any sort of like notable sort of artists. There might be some. If there is, I will probably do a part 2 in a bigger format like this. So, but anything that's not sort of like a notable artist, that are just, you know, batch created, then I'll probably just do a short form, just so you can see what books I do have. So that's what we're doing there. Okay, so enough of me talking, because I'm talking, you'll hear me talk through the rest. Let's get into the colouring book collection and we'll go from there. Here we go. Here is the start of my colouring book collection. As you can see, we have a White Flower Folk in front of us, a book by Christine Caron. And we're not going to go through flip throughs or anything. I haven't coloured anything in this yet, but when I do, I will show you. Looks like I want to colour this in, this particular page. I just think this page is beautiful. I'm going to try and do a colour along with Ink and Hue colouring, because she does this. So this is one that I want to follow along with her, so I'll show you what that looks like once I'm done. I will most likely record the process. So that's White Flower Folk by Christine Caron. Next one, Wondrous Oak by Christine Caron. I haven't coloured anything in this also. I think one that I've started is this one. So at the moment I've just based it with a Hoo markers. I thought I'd screwed up the eyes a little bit, but I think I've managed to make them look okay. Very bright. So, but I haven't done grayscale. I don't do portraits, so I wanted to try just doing it with markers, like just as a like just to base it first, because as you know, these are one-sided, so that's really helpful. But that's Wondrous Oak by Christine Karen. Now we're going to get into the Hannah Carlson collection. There's a lot. We have Daydreams. And I don't believe I've coloured anything in this, because this is fairly new. I love this. I even love this book. I love mushrooms, so the mushroom is really sung to me in this book. And I also like colouring in like architecture, so houses. So this page here is screaming at me to colour it in. I don't normally tackle two-page spreads, but this is one that's calling to me. So maybe we should mark that while I'm here with my lovely book corners, so that I can plan that out. So that's what we're going to do. That's Daydreams. Next one by, again, Hannah Carlson, Summer Nights. I don't believe I've coloured anything in yet, but I believe... Oh, I have! Look at this! Okay, I have coloured some things in. So I started going through my Colourful Country Life's colour combinations, and I started using them here. So this is a yellow combination, a purple combination, and a red combination with some gel pens in there as well. So I really like this red, and I wanted to bring that across to this page. So that's on my to-do list. A lot of things I want to colour. That's Summer Nights. And we've got Magical Dawn. Again, Hannah Carlson. And I don't believe I've coloured anything in this. From what I can see, nope. That's Magical Dawn. Then we've got Seasons. And I've marked some things that I do want to colour in this. So this is another colour along by My Colourful Country Life, which I would like to follow along, because I want to get familiar with skin and hair, which is mainly a skin one, but I also want to follow along with the hair. I've watched a few people do hair, so I'm determined to try hair. And there's another page in here that I believe I wanted to colour. This one, okay. Again, mushrooms, houses. This is screaming at me to go, Holly, please colour me. So this is another one that's going to get coloured at some point. And I really like this glass bowl as well. So maybe once we do this, we could do a similar sort of colour theme in the next page. That's what I'm thinking. And again, we're not going to flip through the whole book. If I went through every book, we'd be here for hours. Or we're already going to be here for a while. Next, Jewellery Box. I have not coloured anything in this, I don't think. Not yet. These are all fairly new. I kind of went on a Hannah Carlson let's buy all of her books phase. The only one I don't have is Godjewel, which is a Christmas book. So once that's available in Australia, I will add that to my list. There's a few on my to buy list, so I will go through them at the end of what I want to buy. My partner would go against it, but I now say it's all for my YouTube channel, so I have that excuse. Spirit animals. I love all of Hannah Carlson's artwork. Even if I don't get to colour in all of these pages in my lifetime, just flipping through the artwork itself is absolutely gorgeous, and who knows, maybe when that time comes they'll get passed along to someone that really appreciates them. So, I mean, I appreciate them, so who knows, maybe now that I've started this YouTube channel, we can now start colouring in all of these lovely books I have. Next up, Grains of Gold. Again, I don't think I coloured anything in this. Don't believe so. No, but I just found a page that kind of said, hey, why don't you colour me? I just saw it as I was flipping through, as you do. Maybe it was that one. Or maybe it was another one on this side. This one is definitely my sort of, I like this. I am familiar with colouring in buildings, and we'll get to a buildings page that I've coloured in another artist's work. And flowers, love flowers. Oh look, that's another page in the other book. So maybe we could change the, I can colour it in twice and change the colours of everything. How cool is that? So I can do my red look in the other one and do a different look here. That is really cool. I like this one as well. Again, mushrooms, houses screaming at me. Like, yeah, everything in like, there's so many, ooh, more mushrooms and a frog. I just love everything. All this artwork is really, really beautiful. Grains of Gold. Next up, we've got Midnight Masquerade and the Forest Kingdom. We'll do two at a time. There's a few things in this book that I want to colour in. And again, Ink and Hue Colouring did a page in this book that really looked so cool to follow along, which was this page here with the mice and the party theme. So I want to give that a whirl because I really love what she does with all this here in the glass. So that's something, probably my own interpretation, but still watch her again and sort of try and work out how I want to do it. Flowers, that would be a page that I could do quite simply. I'm very familiar with flowers and leaves, so anything to do with flowers, leaves and buildings I'm quite comfortable with. Hair, skin, gems, diamonds, animals, I'm still very unfamiliar with everything. Then we've got the Forest Kingdom. And again, more mushrooms. I haven't coloured anything in this, but I believe I had, oh, I've started colouring something in this. Haha, look at that. So this is a page I've started colouring in. I've used a gold metallic paint marker around here, sort of. So that's something. And the reason I picked this was because we had flowers and mushrooms and houses, like everything that I like to colour in. So that was a pretty easy pick there. Then we've got City Among the Stars. I have not coloured anything in this. We're not going to flip through it because otherwise, again, we'll be here for hours. Tales from the Witch's Cottage. I do like this book. Anything to do with witches, magic is all up my alley. So this whole book is screaming at me. So a few pages in there that we want to colour. And the last one from Hannah Carlson is Atlantis. And here we have, I mean, all this is just all underwater scenes. Well, not all underwater scenes, but majority underwater scenes. But that's Atlantis. Right, now we're going to move on to the next. The next artist is Maria Troll. I've only got 4 of Maria Troll's books. I've got Flora. I don't think I've coloured anything in this book yet, but again, I love her artwork. I love the fact that you've got a few dark things. I started colouring this in, so that's one thing I've started doing. So it's slowly getting there. I feel like there's a few things that I've started. That's Flora. Botanicum. I haven't coloured, I don't believe I've coloured anything in Botanicum. But all the lovely artwork is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. Then we've got Moon Valley. This is also lovely artwork as well. I don't believe I've coloured anything in this. A lot of things that I do want to colour in. I like these because you've got, she does a lot of these, so you don't have to worry about colouring the outside. Like, it's all encased, enclosed within a frame, which is really cool, so you don't have to worry about. The only thing I've done is colour this little bee in this book so far. Last Maria Troll book is Moon Valley. Now I know, not Moon Valley, sorry, it's Shooting Star, and I do want to get her fairy tales one when that. It's only just recently come out in Australia, so that's definitely on my to get list. Now, I have actually coloured a page in this. It was a colour along with a picture purpose. That one. This one. Colour along with picture purpose, and I was really happy with this is my interpretation. I could have done the bats a bit better, but at the time, I mean, this was the outcome. Nothing's really bled through. I'm very happy with the way everything looks. It's sort of taught me a lot about lighting, so it was really great to colour along and see that. So that's one thing I liked doing. So that's my interpretation. Next up is Emily Lederhall Oberg. I apologise if I have butchered that name. Fairy Tales and Folklore colouring book. Now, I want to save this page. So we're going to come back to this book because this was like the last page I've actually coloured in fully. So I'm just going to put this one aside and we're going to come back to it, because I want to show you what I used to do to what I do now. Next up, and this is one of my favourite YouTubers, well, art YouTubers, Sarah Renee Clark, and this book is absolutely beautiful. I've coloured a little bit in this. I've done a few colour alongs, and I really love succulents, so I started off doing this little succulent page. I've done a colour along again with a pictured purpose. This is my interpretation of that colour along. And then I've started doing these mushrooms. So this is one area that I've done mushrooms. And then another page that I want to colour this page in. And I've started colouring the flowers over here, so I probably might do these first and then come to this. And it looks like I also labelled, and then this is another page that I want to colour in. So there's a lot of stuff I want to colour in here. I'm a very busy YouTube channel, lots of colouring stuff. Okay, so that's the hardbacks. Now we're going to get into the softbacks. 2 Lulu Mayer books, A Million Cats and a Million Kittens. I got this a very long time ago, this one, without even realising who Lulu Mayer was. I just grabbed it randomly, and I think, I don't even know if I started colouring in anything. I think I started colouring in one cat somewhere. Yeah, this one. That's my cat colouring in. Did that a while ago, so yeah. Nothing else has really been coloured in that one. This is A Million Kittens. Haven't coloured anything in this one. But that's Lulu Mayer. Next one is Spooky by Sarah. I probably butchered that last name, but Sarah, I apologise, but her artwork is beautiful. And I've done, this is a page, so this is one that I want to colour in, again the architecture and the ghosts and everything, and I've done a colour along in this, sort of like my interpretation, again a pictured purpose. So this was my interpretation. There are definitely a few mistakes here. I'm not going to point them out, you might be able to see them. But it was my first time sort of doing glass, first time doing a gem, first time really trying my watercolors in here. It's sort of buckled the page, but the good thing is it's not two-sided book, so you're not really sacrificing anything, which is good. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the result, considering this is like my first time doing something like this, so using sort of mixed media, and I'm really happy with the way it looks. So that's a bonus. So that's Spooky. And another one I've got is Year of Witches. I have not coloured anything in this yet because I don't want to wreck anything. But the good thing is it is all single-sided. And now we can go into Rita Burman. I've got 2 Rita Burman books. And I believe, have I done anything in Africa yet? I haven't done anything in Africa. But I have done something in Europa, I believe. So I coloured this page in with my Derwent Chroma Flows. They were brand new and it was the first time that I got them. They were brand new, and it was the first time that I got them, so I was very happy with the way this page turned out. Like, I'm quite impressed with it myself. Like, I especially like the little barrier. I like the way that I've done the brickwork, the waves down here, and the clouds I did with pastel. I haven't put any fixative on this. I've just coloured it in, and it hasn't really come across to this page, so I'm pretty happy with all of that. But yeah, this page actually took me quite a while because I did one building like at a time. So I went from yellow, red, pinky purple to blue. I accidentally made a boo-boo in here, and an error with a colour choice. I picked up the wrong pencil, but we're gonna pretend. I've pretended that the middle part here, they decided to paint the area a different colour to the rest, or they got an off choice, something like that. Gives it sort of like that character. So yeah, that's the only one I've done in Rita Burman's books. Okay, next up we have Leila Dooley. I've got all 3 of her books. We've got A Walk in the Woods. I don't believe I've done anything yet in A Walk in the Woods. This is only a fairly new book, a new purchase. Nope, nothing in there yet, so that's Walk in the Woods. Beautiful Planet. I believe I've done something in here. Possibly. Maybe. I've started doing a colour along with Ink and Hue colouring. So that's this page. And I have coloured in another page, but I don't know if it's in this book. It might not be in this book. It might be in Floribunda. Let's have a look. So that's Beautiful Planet. Then we've got Floribunda here. And so this is one that I want to colour along because my birthday's in October. And this page as well. I really like lady beetles, so I coloured in a page that had lady beetles. And I know I coloured a page in somewhere. It's hiding from me. Oh my god, maybe it's in one of the other books and I just can't find it. I think it's in A Beautiful Planet. Hang on a moment. Let me find this page. Found. Located. So this is a colouring page that I did recently. It's a fairly recent one, so that I just wanted it bright and colourful, and that's the colours that I came up with. So I actually used a colour cube card for this. So that Sarah Renee Clark's colour cube card, so that was really good. Okay, next two books by, I am going to butcher this name, Mel Pini Chetsu. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Again, I apologise if I butchered the name. I have not coloured anything in these two books, but there's a lot of wants, needs, desires in here, and they're both beautiful books, so we may go through them eventually, but I've got those two. Alright, next up we have Kirby Razan's collection. I have not coloured anything in Kirby Razan's, but we're just going to go through the books that I have. So we've got Mythomorphia. I got this yesterday. Wondermorphia, Fragile World, and Alien Worlds. I got those three the other day, so they're fairly new. We've got Dark Fairy Tales, Imagimorphia, Worlds of Colour. Now in this one I really want to colour in this page, this massive double page spread, because it's lots of flowers and some architecture work in this. I reckon I could have fun with that. And the other page I want to colour in is this sloth, because it's got leaves, tree, a little bit of architecture, and then there's the big hairy sloth, and he's beautiful. So yeah, the good thing is about Kirby Razan's is he's got all the dark textures, so where all the darker colours would go, so it'll be pretty, I think it would be fairly easy to sort of get the hair right, but we'll figure that out. I will figure that out, and you will what? You may or may not want to watch me figure that out. And then we've got Worlds Within Worlds and Mythic Worlds. Again, I haven't started colouring anything in that, but that's they are the books. And last but not least, but last for today, Joanna Basford. The first book I got was Secret Garden. So this is where I sort of wanted to show what I've gone from and to. And I need to find some of the pages that I've coloured. So these, I got these when they first came out. So I believe this first came out back in 2015 or something. So we're talking like 10 years ago. So these are things that I've coloured in these pages. This is when I started to try and colour in sort of like blending, so still learning here. Gotten a little bit better over here, a little bit better, like starting to use different colours. And I think I recently coloured in a page. It might have been in Enchanted Forest. Yep, so that's Secret Garden. And we've got Enchanted Forest next. And that's alright. That's my name. And again, I haven't coloured. Okay, here we go. So this is what I started off doing. So for those of you that are learning or that have just started colouring in, this is how I started. This is what I used to colour in, like, we're talking when this book first came out, so that would have been 2015. So back in 2015, we're talking 10 years ago now, this is what I used to do. So this was me 10 years ago. And there is actually a few other pages in here. So this one I've done recently, so you can tell the difference of how far I've come along, and this is where I've included a little bit of gel pens as well. You like a bit of shading for like really make the animals stand out. I'm actually quite proud of this. This is another gel pen tutorial by Ink and Hue Colouring. So she started off by doing a little bit, and then I went off away and found a few colour cube cards and did the rest. And I didn't care too much about the back here because I'm probably not too fussed about this page because I've still got this one. I mean, it all still kind of collides. I mean, potentially you could go over this with like water-based markers so it doesn't go through the rest, and you can probably hide the rest or use the colour palette here and sort of colour in the leaves in those colours. You can turn it into something or just leave it. I'm not too fussed about it. This is a few other pages I've done 10 years ago. This is a dragonfly I did. And this was the other page that I did. So again, these are all done. This is literally just one layer of pencil. And I could really go back and fix this up and add more to it. But I feel like I want to keep it just to show myself what I used to do to what I do now. And we're going to get into the now part in a moment. And then there's a few other pages that I started. And so then I found some really cool pencils and started like pressing down. I think this is with the Prismacolors. So this was really like a big frog. So I still got flowers to do, so I could still finish that. So there's a whip there, a very old whip, another whip. I started doing this line and then I stopped, and then I believe there is another one. I love skulls, so this just got my attention. Again, this was all done 10 years ago, and as you can tell, I was very methodical about all of the different types of flowers. Like everything had to be the same because it was literally divided. So this reflects that side, and I had my own unique way of doing everything, so that was pretty interesting. So, and like doing the teeth, I probably left the teeth last so that I could sort of do them, but that's sort of an idea of that's what I used to do. That's how I used to colour. So for those of you that are learning, that have just started out, this is totally okay. This is fine. You can leave it just like this. But you don't have to add shading, you don't have to add shadows, you don't have to add lighting. But if you want it to look like, you know, if you want to make it look more realistic or you want to bring more depth into it, then that's where you're going to need to learn. And for me, the only way that I learned, or the way that I learned, well, we all learn, is by copying somebody else. I mean, that's what we do in school. When you're in art school, they show you how to do it, you copy what they do, and then you do it yourself. Isn't that right? and then you learn the technique, you copy someone, learn the technique, and then you put it into practice and do it yourself. And that's what I've done, and I'll show you that in some of these other books. So that's what I used to do, and this is when I'm going to go back to fairy tales and folklore. This is what I do now. So this is the big jump that I've done. I recently did this, and I'm very, very proud of myself for doing this. I particularly love these. These are my favorite. These are my absolute favorite, and just the way that I've colored everything, like the seahorse, the cork, the way that I've try to make the bottle look real, everything. I did this with watercolor pencils. So my Inktense pencils for the background, and then I've gone in and done different colors for the different fish. I got Nemo in there. I probably should have done Flounder, but I wanted to do Nemo because he looked more like a Nemo, so I did that. There's gel pens in here. There's gold pens, gel pens. There's watercolors, Inktense. I used my polychromos pencils, and I combined them with my Kahlua pastel pencils, because you'll notice in the polychromos pencils there's not very many pastels, so that's what I did. But I think next time I might combine them with the Prismacolor pastel, like just the highlight color, but I think I did pretty well overall. I'm very happy with this. This is my most recent work, and I'm very happy with it, and that's all that matters. I'm so proud of myself. I like the hair, I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters. So let's just do a side-by-side comparison here. So to go from these to this. So yeah, to me that's a big jump from this to this. Big jump. And I'm pretty happy with that. So it's sort of like what I used to do, what I do now, sort of thing. So that's Enchanted Forest. Then we got the Lost Ocean. Again, this is another page that I've done in this book a while ago, I believe. So A Lost Ocean is a beautiful book, and I'm still very intimidated by underwater animals. I have done fish in here. Here we go. So again, flat colouring. So this was, again, when I first started getting into colouring, and I just coloured. Just because I want, and it helped, sort of relieve stress. So this is, again, this was done when this first came out. So this would have been, again, this was back in 2015 by the looks of things. The Lost Ocean. So yeah, 10 years ago. Lost Ocean. And then we get into Magical Jungle. So this is where I've done a lovely double page spread, and I can already see it popping out. So this is a colour along with my Colourful Country Life, and I'm very happy with the way this looks. So happy. So yeah. I couldn't believe that I did this. Yes, it was a colour along, but you've still got to learn the technique. So this page is my tutorial book where I learned how to blend, how to put all the colours together. That's what this page, to me, is all about. And then there's another page in here that I sort of started colouring along when Karen was showing us how to do leaves. This is another one. So I believe this was with Prismacolors, and this one, believe it or not, was with Crayola pencils. This is definitely with Prismacolors. But yeah, like again, I've gotten better with the blends, and I'll probably get better as I go along. So that's a work in progress. Another whip. I don't believe I've done anything else in this book. I started colouring in the tiger and then stopped. A lot of start and stops. And we've got Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I actually took this one in when I went into hospital, and I believe I coloured in a dragon. I think there's a dragon in this one. So I've coloured this in. Again, still learning, haven't gotten into it. So I only got into full-on colouring, which was about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and then that's when I started putting all these techniques together. And so again, flat colouring. I did this when I was in hospital, so this was sort of like kept my mind off things. I was in hospital for a week, so that was good to have that. I love dragons, so I wanted to do a blue dragon. I think I was aiming for the dragon of Aragon by the looks of things. So that's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. This is 30 days of creativity, so this is where you can draw your own things. And I think I started like doing some of the flowers maybe somewhere. Here, so like draw your own leafy plants. So I went around and added all the sort of few pots that I haven't done, but I started adding in some different leaves. So that was kind of interesting to see. Yeah, that's like a prompt book, that one. Now we're getting to the newer territory, so World of Flowers. And World of Flowers, I have actually finished a page in here, so I've done a few little ones, and then this is when I started getting a little more trying to show shadows, so learning with shadows and shading, and sort of trying to make bottles look more realistic, trying to make the roof slats look a bit more realistic, and put shadows underneath the windowsills, and just give it a little bit more depth. And then the wood as well, like trying to make it look like wood. So I was pretty proud of this when I did this and when I finished it. This was done with Black Widow pencils. I didn't do a background because I was still very nervous with backgrounds. I can still add one in if I feel like it, but right now I'll probably leave it as it is because that's how I finished it. And I don't believe I've started on anything else. I've done a few gel pen flowers here. And that's it for World of Flowers. Worlds of Wonder. I am currently... So I love the little houses. So I've started doing little houses as I've gone along. Different coloured houses. And there's a lot of stuff in here that I could colour because I do love, and then I did a background here. This was another colour along I did with a pictured purpose, so I've got to just do the rest now, the balloon and that. So at least the background's done. That's the important thing. I just need to do the rest. But I'm looking through this and seeing things that I want to colour in, like this house. There's just like so much, and these I want to colour these in this big double page spread. And this and this and everything, just everything. I want to colour it all, and this is like, yes, singing to me. So much stuff I want to do. Sometimes I feel like I just don't have the time. I do work full time, so yeah, I should probably start colouring in more and stop watching TV. But there's a lot of cool TV shows out. This is Rooms of Wonder by Joanna Basford. And I have not coloured anything in there. Not yet, and I've just seen a big massive page of all. I'd say mushrooms. This, me, yes, mushrooms. Give me mushrooms. I like mushrooms, but I like colouring in mushrooms. That's a beautiful, that would probably, see, I would probably do this over a couple of days. This would be like, you know, I'd come in and do one or two mushrooms and try and work out what colours I want to do each mushroom. And do you make each same mushroom the same colour? So do you make it symmetrical? I know me, because I've got OCD, that's probably what I would want to do, make everything look the same. But yeah, this has got some more beautiful things in. There's a lot of colour alongs for this book, with my colourful country life, so could definitely do that. Second and last book we're going to go through today is Magical Worlds. I am currently doing some, I've got some whips in here. So I started colouring in this little boot. I've got this little boot. So I'm trying to finish this off. So I've done the boot first. And then I've started colouring in this pumpkin. This is where my pumpkin orange got used a lot. And it went down really quickly, and I've just bought a new pumpkin orange. So I've got my pumpkin orange back, thank goodness. So yeah, so still learning with a bit of lighting. So I've put all the lighting here and all the things and all that sort of thing, and then slowly I'll do the curtains, and I'm trying to work my way down. So I don't know if you can tell, so I've sort of like gone from like a black to a dark blue and then to a purple at the top, and tried to do some like clouds. I don't know if they look any good, but I'm still learning. So this is still learning for me and trying to put what I've learnt into a page. And then I believe this is another page that I want to colour in. Well, I've started somewhere, I think. Yeah. So this is another Ink and Hue colour along where she's done gel pen tutorial on this one. So I'm slowly going through adding some gel pens, so that'll be fun. Oh look, a gem page. We can practice gems. I can practice gems. And maybe you can follow along and watch me practice gems. That's good. Gem colours. And that is it for now in that book. I haven't quite done much else except that big pumpkin. Now the next book is Small Victories. As you can tell, it's been used a lot. It's probably my most coloured in book, and that's probably because of how tiny it is. So let's we'll go through, we'll flip through it. So we've got this, I did this with Crayola pencils, so I was pretty proud of that. And then I've done a few, this I believe I did with some pencils. So they are markers. I did that with coloured pencils. I want to colour in these houses. And so this is where I've done more, like 2 houses, gel pen, some gel pen, some markers, pencils, another pen, some more pencils. This was a colour along with Jennifer's Day, so Colouring Bliss. So that was actually really nice to follow along and sort of do a similar colour palette. And then this was a gel pen tutorial with Ink and Hue colouring. So at the time I only had so many gel pens at my disposal, and I now have much nicer gel pens. So yeah, I wish I'd have waited, but I was determined to do it with what I had, and I did rather well, considering. I'll probably turn all these into a gel pen colouring as well. This is when I first tried this tree, and I thought I did pretty well here. This is another gel pen that I put together myself. So I did the background with the pastels and soft pastels, and gel pens for the flowers. My attempt at a really unusual cupcake colour scheme. And this is a few of the mushroom pages that I've done. I did this myself because I was trying to work out with lighting. I thought that looked rather cool. This was a colour along with Sarah Renee Clark, where we based it in water-based markers and then went over it with your pencils, which was, I think I went over it with Chroma Flow pencils, and in the video she went over it with the Derwent Life Arts pencils. I did not have the Derwent Life Arts pencils at that time, but I do now. This is another sort of, so I've gone down a line here. This is like a little colour along, or some things I've done myself. Some of these were colour alongs with Pamela's passion for pencils, and some of these I've done myself. This one I've done myself, this one I've done myself, so I'm pretty happy with that. The background was with intense pencils, and I wanted to make it look like a night sky. I was really happy with that. Really tiny, but happy. This was a colour along with my Colourful Country Life. I was very happy at the time. I didn't actually have gel pens at the time, so I can probably go back now and finish the rest, but at the time I was pretty happy. I went back in and tried to go over it with darker pastels and immediately stopped, because otherwise it would have contrasted with the rest. I was like, nope, don't do that, stop. So I stopped. So yeah, but that's fine. It just means it's gone from a darker shade to a lighter shade with all the clouds. And this was another self-discovery that I did, learning how to do clouds. This was, I was sort of practicing or trying to use the intense pencils here. I don't think water-based mediums work well on this paper in Giant Basswood books, so I'm sort of staying away from water-based mediums. I've done lemons, and we've got some more in here. So I started doing a colour along with my Colourful Country Life, as you can see, and it sort of stops. That's a work in progress. More gel pens, more colouring gel pens. These three were a colour along with Sarah Renee Clark, so I did those. Did these myself. This is a mixture of gel pens and colouring in pencils. I sort of wanted to make them look like they were hanging like gold diamond things, so I've done the gold paint pen and then coloured the leaves in, so I thought they looked pretty interesting. I still work in progress. And I did this was like the first thing that I did down here. And that's it. That's small victories. So that is all of my colouring books. Well, so that was my colouring book collection. I think we had ended on a pretty good note there with Small Victories by Joanna Basford. As you can see, it is my most coloured in book. But I am endeavouring to colour in a lot more of the other books as well that I've recently purchased, especially Kirby Razan's. I really want to get into some of his artwork. That sloth page is really singing to me, going, hey, colour me in, please. So that's going to be one that we're most likely going to be colouring in. And yeah, so that's my colouring book collection. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do have any notable mentions about colouring books you would like to see me colour in, please leave a comment below. And if you would like to see more videos from me and join me in my art colouring adventure, then subscribe. Then hit that subscribe button. And yeah, so I hope you all have had a lovely weekend. Again, I'm in Australia, it's Sunday here and it's 5:18 p.m. So I hope you've all enjoyed, had a lovely weekend. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.